Shalom, this is Gamal Yala out of Great Millstone, Atlanta. I want to give all praises to YAHWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rockerfeller. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the Akim that are pushing out this truth and sincerity. All right, now this is a quick lesson. All right, and this is going to be on an article that I found. This is off beforeitsnews.com. All right, and it's dealing with I guess an article or a written script, so to speak, that was written by the Rockefellers. All right, and like I said, it's out beforeitsnews.com. I'll just go ahead and get into it. It says the Rockefeller lockstep script. The plan is underway. COVID-19 is the cover. Dave Bertrand, yada yada yada. Anyway, it says by Captain Dave Bertrand, it says, some of you are still confused and basically caught between a rock and a hard spot over current events. Giving up liberty for a safer world is nothing more than a mirage and a scam to gain your confidence, all right, for a new world order. Okay, now this alone says a mouthful, okay, because that's basically what's going on. Is all people are doing is you know, they're trading their rights, they're trading their freedom, okay, for, like he said, a safer world, okay, you know, where they don't have to worry about, you know, getting sick and you know, a virus and things of that nature. So these people, a lot of these people are, well, I would say sheeple, because that's what they are. All right, they're just following the herd. But a lot of these people are totally fine with being quarantined and being on lockdown, okay, because and really they encourage the world to do so, okay, because they feel like that this is the only way that you can combat this virus is by everyone staying at home, which really is the opposite. You know, I read an article basically saying that staying indoors decreases your immune system. Okay, it weakens your immune system. All right, which makes sense because you're not exposed to outside environment, the outside environment and bacteria and things of that nature. You know, so anyway, let's get this. Um, 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay, now we know Satan's devices, okay, which his device is deception. Okay, one of his biggest devices, one of his biggest power is through deception, through lying. Okay, now you know, he's gonna take every advantage. You know, he's gonna take everything upon himself to you know, increase restrictions, you know, and further enslave you. Okay, you know, you read Job 9:24. It says that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So that includes the people. That includes the masses and minds of the people. Okay, which the evil, the wicked, is the so-called white man, you know, on earth today. Okay, because he's in control, he's in rulership. This is his kingdom. All right. Now it says, you give up liberty, you will eventually lose every bit of freedom under a controlling force that is beyond this world. Okay, which this is a controlling force. The elite is a controlling force that is beyond this world. You know, let's go to now let's go to Ephesians 6:12. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay, so that controlling force that this article is speaking about, all right, is talking about the rulers of darkness of this world. as the scriptures say. Okay, and it says under a controlling force that is beyond this world, which it is beyond this world because it's spiritual. Okay, this is it says the force beyond this world has enlisted a handful of tyrants we all know. Okay, so that force is a satanic force. Okay, which is the spirit of wickedness on earth. Okay, all right. So this spirit that's out here has basically influenced many. Okay, and now you people, you citizens, you're being duped into accepting slavery. Okay, more restrictions and control. Okay, um, I want to get this word docile. All right, because this describes the masses and the people in a nutshell. This is the word docile. It says ready to accept control or instruction, submissive. All right, which that's you people. The government wants obedient, uh, submissive subjects. Okay, citizens. All right, ready to accept control or instruction, and that's these people say, oh, you need to listen to the news, you need to listen to the CDC, listen to the World Health Organization, you need to follow the restrictions that the government has set up. Do they not say that? Listen to this: easily managed or handled, tractable, readily trained or taught, teachable, and that's that word docile. Okay, which is like I said, readily trained or taught. Which you people are being readily trained. Okay, you're it says quiet and easy to influence, persuade or control. Okay, it's like every definition gets better and better. All right, because it control. This is a very good explanation of the masses of people. They're very easy to influence, persuade, or control. All right, which is in the scriptures is called being simple. you know. Let's see. Let's get this. This is. Let's get Proverbs 1:22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Okay, which, like I said, this is you masses, the masses of you people are simple as hell. Okay, it says, how long, you simple ones, will ye love simplicity, which it's very simple minded to just go along with to first of all trust the so-called white man. That's simple minded in itself. But just to trust, the system, trust in a system that has constantly showed you that it's against you, that's constantly showed you and proven, a nation of people that has constantly showed you and proved to you that they're the devil and it's not for you. Talking about you Israelites, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, because you have basically become simple and you become very docile. All right, now let's move on. Okay, it says, if you want to break from the soft chains now before the metal chains are wrapped around you, both mentally and physically, it is extremely important that you and especially your Democrat friends understand who and what is hurting us like cattle into a paradigm we might not be able to escape or counter. Okay, now we just read that this is a spiritual, the Ephesians 6:12. Okay, the weapon it said we're up against principalities. Okay, so they're herding people into a paradigm, which a paradigm is, if I'm not mistaken, it means a way of thinking. Okay, and you know, the new paradigm is straight wickedness. Let's get this. This is Proverbs 29:2. It says, "When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn." Okay, so you know, Esau, the so-called white man, which is the wicked, okay, he's changing the minds of the people, all right, and the people are going to be in mourning, okay. But it says, when the righteous beareth rule, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So when YAHWASHI sets up the righteous government and sets up the elect, then people will rejoice, okay. You know, who wants to live like this? Who wants to live, you know, you know, locked in a room, locked in a house? You know, who wants to live, you know, you know, restricted? No one wants to live like that. You know, but I keep reading. The window is closing fast, and we don't have much time. All right, which yeah, we don't. Matter of fact, let's get this. Let's see. Let's get this. Revelations 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he had but a short time. Okay, so yeah, this devil, he knows he has a short time, all right, and you know, that's why he's pushing out, you know, these things, okay, so that he can go ahead and establish that new world order, like I said. Now it says, open your mind, accept the truth about what is happening, the plan by the globalists, and what it will mean to the entire earth if we allow it to continue. It's time to pray like never before, because our physical actions alone is not entirely enough. Yeah, and this article is on point, okay, because hey, they're in the spirit, you know. It is time to pray like never before. Let me get that. Let me get this real quick. This is First Thessalonians 5:17. Well, I'll start at 16. Rejoice evermore, pray without ceasing. Okay. Yeah. So you know, that's what we need to do, is to you know, pray, uh, just continually pray to the Heavenly Father that He gives us, you know, His protection and mercy. Okay. It's like I'm looking for one precept that says, uh, let's get this. 1 Peter 4:7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. Okay. All right. So hey, that's spot on. Let's keep going. It says, uh, because our physical actions alone is not entirely enough. It says they are on the move, and to understand what they are doing can be viewed in both videos below. Um, Now, you know, I'm gonna skip down a little bit. You know, you could check out this article. It's a lot of good stuff. But now what I want to bring out actually, all right, which is, you know, the reason I'm also doing this video, all right, is because there's a Rockerfeller lockstep script. Okay, and you can actually see a link. Here's the actual document of the script. I'll show it on screen right here. All right, and this is from 2010. This is the, as you see, it's brought by the Rockefeller Foundation. Scenarios for the future of technology and international development. Now, we know that scenarios, this devil plays out scenarios, okay? And they plan things in the future. So it says scenarios for future technology. All right, so this is just like a book, of what is going to have to happen, in the future. Now it says this report was produced by the Rockefeller Foundation and Global Business Network, May 2010. All right. So this is all the way back from 2010. All right. And, this document actually goes into what's going on right now. All right. And like I said, this is scenarios. So it's speaking in future tense. All right. And this is a scenario narratives. It says the lockstep. All right. A world of tighter top-grown government control and more authoritarian leadership with limited innovation and growing citizen pushback. Okay. This is the lockstep. Okay. It says tighter top-down government control, which this is the phase. See, these devils, they're ruling this out in phases. Okay. They're putting this out there in phases. And this is only the beginning phase. This is phase 1. Okay? This is only the first phase, which is just tighter restriction, limiting the internet, limiting information. That's why they're starting this whole false news movement. Okay, which, there is a lot of false news out there, but really Esau is the false news, man. Esau is the originator of false news. Okay, he's the originator of false news. Now, now he's the one trying to crack down on false news. Esau, you are the false news, man. The fact that you call yourself the so-called white man is false news. All right, and so like I said, I'm just gonna read a little bit. I'm gonna skip on. It's a lot to read. Otherwise this video will be long. But this basically goes into a future scenario. It says in 2012, the pandemic that the world had been anticipating for years finally hit. Unlike the 2009's H1N1, this influenza strain originating from wild geese was extremely virulent and deadly. Even the most pandemic-prepared nations were quickly overwhelmed when the virus streaked around the world, infecting nearly 20% of the global population and killing 8 million in just 7 months. All right, the majority of them healthy young adults. Okay, says the pandemic also had a deadly effect on economies. International mobility of both people and goods screeched to a halt, debilitating industries like tourism. And this is what you're getting right now. It says international mobility of people and goods screeched to a halt, debilitating industries like tourism and breaking global supply chains. Now let's get that. All right, Ecclesiastes 12. All right. Because that's what you're having right now is these economies are collapsing. All right, and let's get it. This Ecclesiastes 12:3, and that in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Okay, now that's basically talking about the grinders ceasing and the windows being darkened is basically talking about your cities basically or these economies collapsing. Okay, work is basically going to be scarce. All right, it says the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Okay, so it says the doors shall be shut in the streets. Okay, basically meaning you know, empty cities. Okay, it says the pandemic blanketed the planet, though disproportionate numbers died in Africa, Central, Southwest, Southeast Asia, and Central Asia, where the virus spread like wildfire in the absence of official containment protocols. Okay, but even in developed countries, containment was a challenge. This is spot on. Mind you, this is 10 years ago. The United States' initial um, policy of strongly discouraging citizens from flying proved deadly in its leniency, accelerating the spread of the virus not just within the U.S. but across borders. And it's almost scary how on point this is, man. However, a few countries did fare better. China, in particular, the Chinese government's quick imposition and enforcement of mandatory quarantine for all citizens, as well as its instant and near hermetic sealing off of all borders, saved millions of lives, stopping the spread of the virus far earlier than in other countries and enabling a swifter post-pandemic recovery. Now, that's exactly what happened with China. All right. Now, this document, okay, which was brought to you by the Rockefeller Foundation, okay, this we know that the elites, they work 10 steps ahead, 10, 20 steps ahead. Okay, so we know that this plan was secretly devised and well calculated, you know, way before this coronavirus. There's no telling how long they were working on the actual coronavirus. Because this guy Fauci, he actually goes back to I believe he served with Obama, and they're actually blaming him for the spread of the virus, okay, or for not for the spread of the virus, but they're blaming this guy Fauci, who is let's look up who he is. It says he's an American physician and immunologist who has served as the director of National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases since '84. Okay. Oh well, he's been with many presidents. This guy Fauci. Okay, Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Obama, and now Trump. Now they're blaming him. They're actually blaming him. Okay, for they're actually blaming him for the funding of research on this COVID-19 virus. Okay. Anyway, like I said, this is exactly when you read that with Chinese, it says, and we know that China now the numbers are curving. They're basically saying they don't have any more cases. All right. So as you see, the China, this part was spot on. Okay. Let's get this. This is Psalm 64. And 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Now let's get that word, insurrection. Actually, I want to get two things. This is Ragash. It says throng, a tumultuous crowd. Okay, company. Let's get this word, secret counsel. It says, okay, company of persons. Okay, consultation, a secret assembly council. Okay, now we know that these elites, they're engaged in secret societies. Okay, so I'm gonna read it again. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Now that's talking about your elites such as your Rockefellers. All right, which is why, as the spirit called YAHWASHI. So 444 now. Anyway, such as your Rockefellers, these are your elite families. Okay, they're amongst the elite, one of the elite families. Okay, I believe they're the American or yeah, the American branch of the elite families, the elite banking families. All right. Now we know that they devised these plans, okay, in secret. Okay, it says that they may shoot in perfect. Actually, I'll keep going. Who wet in verse 3? Who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Okay. They encourage, verse 5, they encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Okay. Yeah, so that's what they say. It says they lay snares privily. Now, we know that this whole virus, and this pretty much confirms it, but we know that this virus is a made-up thing. Okay. Now, there is something out here that people are getting sick from, but we know that we know for sure that this is a man-made virus. Okay. Which will really the Lord, put the spirit on Esau to make this virus. It says, they search, verse 6, they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Okay. Yeah, so, that's talking about the wicked, all right, the so-called white man. Okay, so let's get this. Let's keep going. China's government was not only one that took extreme measures to protest its citizens from risk and exposure during the pandemic. National leaders around the world flexed their authority and imposed airtight rules and restrictions, from the mandatory wearing of face masks to body temperature checks at the entries of communal spaces like train stations, and supermarkets. Even after the pandemic failed, this more authoritarian control and oversight of citizens and their activities stuck and even intensified. All right. So this is spot on. Okay, then that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna, everywhere you go, you're gonna have to get your forehead scanned. Okay, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to wear masks. Okay, and all these things. Okay. All right, and it also came out the reason why they want you to stand 6 feet apart. Okay, or another reason why they want you to stand so far apart is so that they can track you. All right, so that they can if you're far apart, the cameras can pick you up easily. Okay, and their facial recognition doesn't work better in crowds. Okay, it can single you out, especially if you're far from people. That's the reason why they want this so. That's excuse me. That's the reason why they want you so spaced out. All right, now it says even after pandemic faded, this more authoritarian control and oversight of citizens and their activities stuck, even intensified. Now that's what they want to do. Now there's no turning back. After this virus, it's going to impose permanent restrictions on people that you're going to have to follow. There is no going back to normal. Okay? There's going to be, tighter enforcement everywhere. Everywhere you go. The stores, your schools, okay, travel, especially travel, airplanes, all right, which eventually is going to lead to you having to have the chip, okay, which is going to be a requirement for you to do anything, okay, but these like I said, these are the first steps. The first steps is just temperature scans and forced masks, forced quarantines and all these things, okay. Now it says from pandemics and transnational terrorism to environmental crises and risking poverty, leaders around the world took a firmer grip on power. Okay? Rising. It says rising poverty. Okay. All right. So listen to this. At first, the notion of more controlled world gained wide acceptance and approval, which is what's happening now. It says citizens widely gave up some of their sovereignty and their privacy to more paternalistic states in exchange for greater safety and stability. Citizens were more tolerant and even eager for top-down direction and oversight, and national leaders had more latitude to impose order in the ways they saw fit. And hey, through the Spirit, I want to say, call YAHWASHI, all right, for this information, because this is basically, this is like checkmate for Esau, okay? Because this is their plan right here in plain sight. This was their plan right here in front of you, all right? Esau is being exposed on all levels, man. It says, at first, the notion of a more controlled world gained wide acceptance and approval, okay? That's exactly what has happened. It says citizens willingly gave up some of their sovereignty, all right, which is exactly what's happening. These people are willingly giving it up, and it's gotten acceptance. Now, like I said, people are saying, oh, you need to stay at home, you need to follow the government, you need to, basically submit and be docile, okay? And that's the elites, that's their plan, coming to fruition. All right, that's their plan being effective, okay, which is you willingly accepting being a slave. Okay, let's get this. This is woe, Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help, and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because they are many, and in horsemen, because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord. Okay, it says basically, woe unto them that go down to Egypt and trust in chariots. So they're trusting in this government. Okay, so you know, woe unto them, because you are let me see. One second, bear with me. Um, Slack here. Anyway, well, this is a good one. I'll bring this out since it's right here. This is Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, and put darkness for light and light for darkness, and put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. All right, and that's the spirit that these people are in, which is basically being backwards. Okay, it's good to stay home. It's good to so-called take the chip. It's good to have privacy and be safe from the so-called virus. Okay. Now it says listen to this. It says citizens were more tolerant and even eager for top-down direction and oversight, and national leaders had more latitude to impose order in the ways they saw fit, which we know that they're gearing into martial law, okay, which is a military form of government. Okay, it says in developed countries, this heightened oversight took many forms: biometric IDs for all citizens, for example, tighter regulation of key industries whose stability was deemed vital to national interest. Okay. Okay. So tighter restrictions, tighter ID restrictions, which is going to lead to the chip. And many developed countries enforce cooperation with a suite of new regulations and agreements slowly but steadily restored both order and, importantly, economic growth. Okay. So that's what they want. Esau wants more order within his society. Okay, he wants more order and obedience in his society. All right, that's why he's putting this out there. Okay, now there's a lot more. There's a lot that you can read into. It says quarantine restricts in-person contact, cellular networks overloaded. This is like a timeline. 2013. Quarantine restricts in-person contact. See that? I'll make it bigger. Intercontinental trade hit by strict pathogen controls. This will be by like 2 years later. Italy addresses immigrant caregiver gap with robots. Vietnam to require a solar panel on every home, 2022. All right, so these are just basically a scenario. Now like I said, there's a lot more. Look at this. This is technology in lockstep. Scanners using advanced functional magnetic resonance imaging to become the norm at airports and other public areas to detect abnormal behavior that may indicate antisocial intent. Okay, there you go. Welcome to the future. It says in the aftermath of pandemic scares, smarter packaging for food and beverages is applied first by big companies and producers in a business-to-business environment, and then adopted for individual products and consumers. Okay. New diagnostics are developed to detect communicable diseases. The application of health screening also changes. Screening becomes a prerequisite for release from hospital or prison, so you're going to have to be screened, successfully slowing the spread of many diseases. Okay? All right, telepresence technologies respond to the demand for less expensive, lower bandwidth, sophisticated communication systems for populations whose travel is restricted. And this is your 5G right here. Okay, this is basically what they're getting into. Scanners, pandemics, different packaging. It says driven by protectionism and national security concerns, nations create their own independent, regionally defined IT networks, mimicking China's firewalls. All right. So there's a lot more. Like I said, maybe I'll touch this article again. There's a lot of it, good info. So just like we prophesied, Esau prophesies through his so-called plans, because the Most High is in control of Esau, so there's nothing he can do that's above the Most High. So really, the Most High's plan is his plan. Okay, and he's allowing us to see how basically we're predicting his downfall. All right, this is a part of that with him being exposed. Okay, let me see. Let's see. Let's get this, and I'll close out on this. It's Obadiah. Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? It's talking about you so-called white people, Esau. All right. And it says, though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and thou set thy nest among the stars. Thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. All right. So judgment is coming against you. Okay. How are the hidden things of Esau? Verse 5, how are the hidden things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Okay. So these are his hidden things being sought up. Okay. These are Esau is being searched out. Okay. He's being exposed on every level. All right. And we see the plans coming into fruition, and we see, his older plans of what he's put into place happening. Okay. And it's all through the Spirit of the Lord. It's all through the spirit of prophecy. Okay. All right. So, that's pretty much the point. All right. Lord willing, I'll touch this article again. All right. And you brothers can share this article. Like I said, it's on before it's news.com. All right. And there, there's a lot more. Maybe I'll do a part 2 to this video, Lord willing. But anyway, closing out by giving all praises to YAHWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, double lines to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom.